Arise Director of News and Politics Editor Sumner Sambo joins us now in the studio for more on the unending crisis in Rivers State. Sumner, good to see you. It does seem like Rivers State is a cup of trembling for Nigeria, and things may just be getting out of hand with this latest development, an attempted bombing of the presidential hotel in Rivers State. Well, the governor is saying it's just an attempt, a plan to foist a state of emergency on the state. Your thoughts?
Well, the Commissioner of Police, Tunji Disu, actually owes Nigerians the truth because the resort to guerrilla tactics and street warfare is not going to help the residents of that state. And it should not be permitted under a democratic system that when there's a political crisis, that people take it from the town halls, government halls, and take it to the streets to this extent. So I do not want to believe what the governor said, and neither do I want to believe what happened on the streets. There should be an investigation as to what exactly is the truthful situation. And that's why sometimes on Tuesday, the CP himself has said that they were going to investigate the issue. Now, I'm saying this because there was a similar incident that happened sometime around January last year, 2023, in a place called Rumuoji, when APC was protesting. By then, Nyesom Wike and this same governor were in the PDP, enjoying themselves and all of that, but tackling those on the other side, then in the APC. And there was an explosion that happened, and some APC members were involved. There were also allegations then that some of them got killed. And it was also alleged to be a political intimidation of the political opponents in the state then. The police said they were going to investigate that incident, and up till date, we haven't heard what really happened. And the claim from the APC, including someone who's called Darlington Waju, who is the factional spokesman of the APC in Rivers State, is that some elements who were in PDP and through that explosive device against the APC people who were campaigning then are still some of those people who came out to protest this Tuesday. And where this explosion is said to have happened. So if the police didn't bring that report in 2023 during the campaign season out, and we're seeing this happening again, and the allegations that those who are in PDP who threw this against the APC people then are still the ones who are responsible for this, then the police really needs to bring this, to a point where we'll be able to know why this is happening and who's responsible. Does it mean that in the PDP, they have people who manufacture IEDs and use it against political opponents? I mean, this would be a very difficult development. So, and if this is beyond the powers of the Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, the Inspector General of Police should actually put in place a tactical team that will step aside the Commissioner of Police and then take charge of this. And President Tinubu should not joke with this because it's going beyond, alarming.
Well, I think one big problem or one big issue you've just raised here is that the police owes us some form of explanation. First, with the 2023 bomb blast. It's over a year, and the police has been mum. Mum is the word from the police. Now, let's talk about what Senator Carlo has said. He wants the two leaders to see how they can actually get off their high horses and resolve issues, because as you said, it's getting out of hand. Once a governor, now a senator, he understands that. How difficult it is for political resolution to the conflict, to the extent that the last big personality who weighed in on this was the president, and now we're getting into bombs going off in Rivers.
Well, you see, once you don't allow institutions of state to function, and you resort to political resolution of crisis, rather than allowing institutions of state to work, this is what will happen. And you will recall that when that agreement came in place, I said it clearly right here, that President Tinubu was wrong to have intervened in a place, in a situation whereby it had not gone out of hand for institutions of state to function. If a governor was elected allow the governor to work. If there's a State House of Assembly that's put in place, the governor should also allow the State House of Assembly to function. So what you need to do is to ask them to allow the institutions of state to function. And if they do not allow the institutions of state to function, you will now allow your own Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice to allow the course of law to take place. And here, our constitution is not short of remedying whatever is happening in Rivers State. The only problem is that we do not have the political will. Yeah. Like I had said previously, President Tinubu was very eager to harvest those 25 to 26 lawmakers of the PDP into the APC. That didn't allow him to see clearly what was going wrong and how to play the role of a statesman. So he decided to take side. And also, the governor was unclear as to why he had to go into political agreements with his godfather, and he was beginning to renege. Now he's been coming out of recent telling us several things and all of that, that some commissioners were imposed on him, some local government chairmen were abusing him and all of that. Where does it happen in other states? When he was signing all those agreements and entering into political alliances with Wike to emerge governor, didn't he know that there were repercussions? Yeah. So the institutions of state must be allowed to function. And where the governor goes wrong, the law must not fail to take its course.
But what happens when...
And in this instance, just sorry, very quickly, the Attorney General of the Federation should understand that if it doesn't intervene and allow the rule of law to prevail in Rivers State, it may affect the federal government. The National Assembly is not there for, play. If the Rivers State House of Assembly is not functioning, the National Assembly has the constitutional right to take over the State House of Assembly in Rivers State and stop the absurdity where 3 people are passing bills and where some people who have defected are claiming they haven't and all of that. Why do we have these constitutional provisions and yet they are not being put in action? Something is wrong with us.
And that's the point. You make an important point there, and that point has been made over and over again, that now is the time for the National Assembly to actually, step in. But on the issue of allowing the institutions of state to work, aren't they compromised already? Isn't that why we have this situation, on our hands?
Yeah, if they are compromised, then are we saying that the situation is bigger than us as a country? Because that's why you have federal and state institutions and then local institutions. Now, if the state institutions have been very, very politicized,
right,
and it's got to an extent where people are beginning to see how to use guerrilla tactics to cause a state of emergency in this state, when we know that the atmosphere is not clear for such to be happening and people throwing bombs on the street, shouldn't the federal government intervene? Are you telling me that if President Tinubu summons the governor of Rivers State and tells him to do the right thing, that he wouldn't do? This country is bigger than Rivers State, and the governor derives his power from the law, the same law that brings the president to power. And we have the National Security Advisor. Why can't Malam Nuhu Ribadu get into Rivers State and warn all the parties there that Nigeria is bigger than all of them in Rivers State? So they should not cause problem, because you see, our democracy must not be lost in the altar of people's greed. This is what we are seeing, and that's why you'd have heard former Governor Orji Uzor-Kalu, who himself knows what it means when the federal authorities really mean business in your state and they agree to step in means. Because Obasanjo dealt with him at some point. And so when we have the greed present within politicians and they want to derail the state has to rise up on behalf of other component parts of the federation and assert its coercive powers. Where are the coercive powers of the state? That's what we are asking. President Tinubu should be careful not to allow politics to, make him stay off the course of the ship of state. The ship of state is greater than all of us. Former Governor Nyesom Wike, under this instance, should understand that he has to call his boys to step back. It has gone beyond play. And if they embark on this guerrilla warfare on the streets, it's going to affect businesses, Nigeria's oil production. If we are saying that we've ramped up oil production to about 1.3, 1.5 million barrels per day, if Rivers State explodes, aren't we thinking that we'll go back to our 700,000 barrels
I think
per day?
Certainly,
and that's where it comes from. So we shouldn't allow this guerrilla warfare to go to the street.
Certainly,
and whoever is found guilty, irrespective of whoever supports him, whether from
institutions
Abuja or
of state, as you said,
institutions of state should actually function.
be activated, no doubt. We'd like to thank you for your time, for shedding light on this very ugly development in River State, Sumner, Sambo.